Well, hello, and yes, I wanted to take an opportunity to start this month off with sharing with you uh, a book haul from my most recent book haul from the Free Library. And we're just going to hop right on into it and just do this really quick because I've got some very interesting titles to share with you today. The first one I have is called A Date with Death by Michelle McPhee. It's a hardback, but A Date with Death by Michelle McPhee. And let's see, this story is about inside of a a luxury Boston hotel. On April 14th, police discovered the body of a beautiful young woman. Her head is battered, a bullet through her heart. The victim is a masseuse named Julissa Brisman. And she had advertised her erotic services on Craigslist, the popular classified ads websites. That's pretty interesting, right? Because that is a thing, right? Craigslist has a lot of history in real life. A 22-year-old medical student named Philip Markoff was her last known client. Was Why was a soon-to-be married man prowling the internet for sex? What events led up to Markoff's meeting with Brisman? What happened the night of their fateful and fatal date? The Boston Police Homicide Unit followed a digital trail that led to Markoff's home, where investigators found a gun, prepaid cell phones, plastic handcuffs, and a stash of women's undergarments. How many other women did Markoff meet before Brisman? And what happened to them? This is the true story of one woman's date with death. Oh, it's based off of a true story. Ooh, looking forward to that. The next one we have is a title called On the Run by Tristan Banks. And this is also, once again, a hardback without the dust cover. There's no end pages, colorful end pages. I don't think this one either. Yeah, just plain, no colorful end pages. I like to show my hardbacks. I like to show my hardbacks. Okay, so this one here is an adventure story. Oh, and by the way, the Goodreads rating. I meant to mention that the Goodreads rating for A Date with Death is 3.16 stars. That's on Goodreads. On the Run by Tristan Banks has a Goodreads rating of 3.62 stars. And this is when a 12-year-old boy's parents discover millions of dollars deposited into their bank account. They take him and his sister on the lam in this fast paced middle grade adventure. Ben has always wanted to be a cop, so he's intrigued when police officers show up at the door asking for his parents. Then his parents arrive after the police leave and rush him and his sister into the car, insisting that they are going on a vacation. Ben's a little skeptical. His family doesn't go on vacations. After they lose the police in a high speed car chase and end up in a remote cabin deep in the woods, Ben discovers his parents' secret. Millions of dollars were deposited into their bank account by accident, and they took the money and ran off. Ben isn't sure what to think. Are his parents criminals? And because he ran off with them, is he a criminal too? On the Run, Tristan Banks. That seems like a very interesting title right there. I like that one. Uh, 6 books in total. Book number 3 is Checked Out by Sharon St. George. Okay. When rodeo cowboy Cody O'Brien is found dead in his horse trailer, I guess that's him. When rodeo cowboy Cody O'Brien is found dead in his horse trailer, it appears that his horse, Game Boy, is the culprit. Really? Amy Machado, health sciences librarian at Timbergate Medical Center, has no reason to doubt the preliminary findings at first. Cody had been in the hospital awaiting an operation the night he died, but he checked himself out. Had he reason to believe his surgeon, Dr. Phyllis Poole, was incompetent? Or is his death related to his complex relationship with his family? It turns out his father is dying, and four people other than Cody stood to inherit: his young trophy wife Echo, his son James, his daughter Keely, and her fiance Tucker. How does Dr. Poole fit into all this? Well, her surgical outcomes have been not the best. Not to mention that Lori Popejoy, the TMC nurse, and Poole's rival in the hospital's blues combo, disappeared the night of Cody's death. So, very interesting. This is actually a pretty heavy book. I guess the weight of the paper, the print, this is actually heavier than the two hardbacks put together. But looking forward to that one. That's a pretty cool story. Interesting. Then we also have book number 4 is The Last Crossings by Brian McGilloway. The Last Crossings. Now, in this one, Tony, Hugh, and Karen thought they'd seen the last of each other over 30 years ago. Half a lifetime has passed, and memories have been buried. But when they are asked to reunite, to lay ghosts to rest for the good of the future, they all have their reasons to agree. As they take the ferry from Northern Ireland to Scotland, the past is brought into terrible focus. Some things are impossible to leave behind. In The Last Crossing, memory is unreliable, truths, shifts, and slips, and lingering legacies of troubles threatens to present themselves once again. Pretty interesting. Poetic and gripping. Last Crossing by Brian McGilloway. That is a Goodreads 4.18 stars. Next, we have The Crossing by Sarita Jakes. The Crossing by Sarita Jakes. Now, on the way home from a football game, I think I may have introduced this title before, or at least it's familiar to me, the synopsis. On the way home from a football game, a decade earlier, a masked gunman opened fire on a Texas school bus. Cheerleading coach B.J. Remington was killed, but her murderer was never found. Claudia, who had a close friendship with the young spirited teacher, constantly relives the anguish of that day, caught in one moment in time. When her husband, the assistant district attorney, becomes determined to uncover the mystery of that tragedy, the secrets buried over the years threaten to tear their family apart. Officer Cassio Hightower will never forget the day his dreams were destroyed. A star quarterback with a promising future, Cassio was on top of the world until one bullet changed everything. He is eager to help Victor Campbell find BJ's killer. The man who shot him, maybe solving the case, will help silence the demons driving Cassio to hurt the women he loves. Very, very, very interesting story. And it almost sounds as if this might be very familiar, like a natural based off of a true story. And Sarita Jakes is a Christian author, so this is going to be a very interesting title to read. Seems like she has some connection with Bishop T.D. Jakes. His church is out of, the Potter's House is out of Dallas. Not very big fan of his, but huge church, mega church, big church. So that one seems interesting. I'm looking forward to that one. And then the last one that I have is book number 6. But book number 6 actually has 4 titles in it. Right? We've got a book from Nicholas Sparks, a book from Ken Follett, a book from Susan Isaac, and Barbara Delinsky. Is that right? Did I spell that right? Yes, I did. Delinsky. Okay. And so from Nicholas Sparks, we have A Bend in the Road. And we also know that Nicholas Sparks is a romance author. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see here. For 2 years, Miles Ryan and his son, Jonah, have mourned the loss of their wife and mother in a hit and run accident. When Sarah Andrews comes into their lives, Miles begins to feel whole again and joy returns to Jonah's face. But when a painful coincidence blocks their path to happiness, Miles will find his heart challenged in ways he could never imagine. And that's very serious. Nicholas is a really, really, really good romance author. So that's going to be very interesting to look at, to watch. Book number 2 is The Woman Next Door by Barbara Delinsky. When the beautiful young widow at the end of a close neighborhood cul-de-sac becomes pregnant, accusations fly. 3 couples must confront issues that threaten to divide their homes. Tensions build until one desperate event forces everyone to separate the love that is real from that which is false. The most heartfelt novel yet by this best selling author. The Woman Next Door, Barbara Delinsky. Okay. Book number 3 is Jackdaws by Ken Follett. Follett. It is the eve of D-Day, 1944. For British agent Felicity Flick Claret, it is also the eve of her most crucial mission, which is to penetrate the Nazis' major communication center in France and destroy it. Her secret weapon? The Jackdaws, an all-female team of dedicated saboteurs. The exciting new espionage thriller from the author of international bestseller Eye of the Needle, Ken Follett. Yes. And I've read, Ken has one of the very few 5-star titles, 5-star ratings from me. He is an excellent author. And I did not look up the stars for these last four books, but I mean, I don't think I really need to. Isaacs, Follett, Sparks, Delinsky, very popular names, and we all know that their novels always do well. So this was a very interesting find. Like I said, it was at the free library, and so that was very interesting for me. When I saw this, man, I didn't even blink. I snatched it quick, and looking forward to getting into it. And then last but not least is Long Time No See by Susan Isaacs. Now, sassy Long Island housewife Judith Singer, straight from the compromising positions, is back. Now a 50-something widow, Judith becomes obsessed with solving the disappearance of a neighborhood supermom. And when Nelson Sharp, a former homicide detective and the lost love of Judith's life, gets involved, things get very interesting indeed. Crime in the suburbs may never be the same again. That's a crime novel. Okay, well, that's interesting. And then, of course, we get a chance to see their faces on the back of the book right there. I don't know if you guys are familiar with these authors' appearances, but this is a very interesting book. And of course, because it is a hardback, we're going to take the dust cover off and check out the construction of this book. So this is really, really cool. And it's got that embossed, I think that's a unicorn. Or just a Pegasus, actually. That's a Pegasus. Look at the color of that. And this is a Reader's Digest. So I was at the free library today, and I got three more books, but I didn't include them in this because I didn't do the research on those yet. I just picked them up this morning. These I had from like about a week, 2 weeks ago. Um, but Reader's Digest, I was talking to you before that when I was growing up, I grew up reading Reader's Digest, the little today, and I didn't pick them up, but there was three, four book, another collection of these books from Reader's Digest. But unfortunately, fairly, let me say, because everybody says unfortunately, but fairly, you're only allowed to take 5 books at a time. Only allowed to check out 5 books at a time because somebody else, you can't read them that fast anyway. So don't be selfish, right? So I had already picked up 3 books that I'm very interested in keeping. And I turned around and I saw the other 3 books. I'm like, why? I don't know. Should I take these other two, put 2 of them down and take those? I went back. I went back and they were gone. I went back and they were gone. And I feel some form of regret that I didn't grab those books. But anyway, this is a very, very handsome binding. I love the color scheme. That isn't that just fabulous? That color, and of course, no special end pages. But does it need to be? This is a very, very interesting. The color is just so vivid, just so vibrant, um, and it's in great condition. It's in great condition. And that's my collection for today. This is the free library visit from about 2 weeks ago. And then I guess later on in the month, I'll introduce the books that I actually collected today that don't have the other Reader's Digest books collected in there. Uh, yeah. So very interesting, right? How many of you guys have actually heard some of these other authors? I mean, we've heard these guys. I know we've heard these guys. Plenty of you guys have read most of their works. But some of these other authors, McPhee, Banks, St. George, and then, of course, McGilloway and Jakes, Sarita Jakes. Have you guys read these titles yet? They all seem very captivating. And I took an opportunity to like read a little bit of the synopsis when I first picked them up. And so each one just kind of grabbed my attention. And I picked up those 5. I picked up these 6 books in 2 different visits to the free library, but over 2 weeks ago. And that is it. That's it for today. I just wanted to show you my haul today, my free library haul. I love my free library. It's pretty amazing. And of course, you got to remember too, not all of them, but the majority of the books, a lot of the books, this is how I found Operation Paperback. A lot of the books are supplied by the Operation Paperback Foundation. So, yeah, great titles, great titles. And thank you for joining me. Let me know what you think about these titles. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon. You guys have a wonderful day.